Tag TV and Tag Radio be seen and heard by both technology users and technology producers throughout the state of Georgia and around the world. Low cost, big benefits, powerhouse online branded video and audio has arrived. Tag TV, Tag Radio, there's a lot more to know.
Question. According to a recent Gartner survey of 2,000 CIOs, what do you think are the top 3 priorities for 2013? Well, if you're in the IT space at all, you probably have already guessed. Mobile, cloud, and analytic technologies are transforming the very way enterprises communicate. In fact, as cloud and mobile converge, the traditional communications infrastructure will transform beyond recognition. In fact, legacy systems may no longer be able to serve the needs of enterprise. Transformation, and just what will be some of the key actions CIOs must be prepared to take now and in the rapidly changing future. Greetings, everyone. It's Tuesday, April 9th, 2013, and this is Tech Talk with Technology Association of Georgia President Tino Mantella. Up to the Tech Talk, the rate of adoption among large enterprises of cloud computing technology, and the surprise reaction from small business. It's all about the impact of mobile, cloud, and analytics, and the resulting transformation in the management of data and devices. Tino speaks with Scott Fogle, co-founder and president of Advocate Consulting. Scott has spent a quarter-century in global IT and communications infrastructure. His expertise include global IT services and hosting, server platforms, cloud computing, storage, and network systems. Scott is considered an industry-leading expert in a wide range of experience that spans planning, assessment, benchmarking, sourcing, and implementation for Fortune 500 companies. He has held executive leadership positions both domestically and internationally with NCR, AT&T, Scientific Atlanta, and RapidLink Communications. Scott co-founded Advocate Consulting in 2001, a management consulting firm in global IT, cloud, mobility, and communication services and infrastructure, which has been recognized in the Inc. 5000 for the last 5 years and for consistent growth over the last 8 years among the top 5,000 private companies in the United States. The firm now serves over 550 clients in Europe, Asia, and the U.S. Cloud, mobility, and analytics are transforming enterprise. Tino takes us to the cutting edge of the evolution that just may be the next revolution in technology with industry top expert, co-founder, and president of Advocate Consulting, Scott Fogle.
This edition of Tech Talk is brought to you by GlobalSpeak.com, new media consultants, corporate video and audio communications, video and audio production and distribution, live and virtual event production. Tag TV and Tag Radio is a service of GlobalSpeak.com, creatively delivering powerful marketing, video, and audio solutions.
Scott, thank you for joining me on Tech Talk today.
Tino, it's great to be with you.
So let's start out by just some of our listeners, most of them know about Advocate Consulting, but just tell us a little bit about the company.
Advocate is a company that I started 12 years ago with a partner, Tim Wise. We're a management consulting firm based in Atlanta with deep technical expertise in cloud, communications, mobility, and collaboration services.
And you guys have been strong supporters of TAG and Premier members, which we greatly appreciate. So today we have a chance to learn a little bit more about some of the things happening in the industry, and particularly things that might be of interest to CIOs or CTOs, people in the technology field. So, Gartner is one of the leading experts in terms of thought leadership, and they tend to get major surveys done this year. They've surveyed over 2,000 CIOs and asked them what was on their mind, and they listed some of the things that you talked about. Mobile, cloud, analytics technologies were some of the priorities, and they also said that CIOs need to think about changing some of those legacy programs and legacy systems that have been around for a long time, that they no longer be able to serve the needs of the enterprise. So talk a little bit about what key actions need to be for CIOs in respect to both short-term and long-term leverage legacy systems as they go through a transformation phase.
good question. And from where I sit and the work that I do, I have the opportunity to talk to CIOs and VPs of infrastructure each day. We have roughly 500-plus enterprise clients, and so this is a challenge that I'm constantly talking with them about. What I often see is corporations providing all forms of communications tools, services, and utilities almost to a point of frustration for knowledge workers. I think about it in my job and perhaps even your job. I've got a mobile phone, I've got an iPad, I've got a notebook computer, I've got conferencing services, I've got Microsoft Link for collaboration. I'm inundated with tools. Many of our clients are now asking us, how can we provide a more efficient, more functional workplace? How can we, Scott, try to simplify the tool set and create more adoption of the standard processes and more effectiveness? That's a big challenge, and that's really where we believe CIOs have to go. And it's going to be a little different for each client. They all have different business rules, but that's really an area beyond just providing tools and technologies to their employees. CIOs and their staff are going to have to figure out how to create what I call a collaboration ecosystem and help find ways to drive more effectiveness for their employees.
And some companies, of course, try to go it on their own. They've got beefed up these big enterprise companies, a group of leaders, smart leaders who feel like they can handle the situation, and some of them certainly can to one degree or another. But many of them look to explore third-party vendors. And, I think even as you look at this for advocate consulting and beyond, what would be some of the decision-making steps that the CIO might go through to make a decision whether they are going to go it alone or pick a vendor?
Very good. Well, what we typically find in the marketplace is CIOs or other IT executives first turn to their network. They're looking for a recommendation from others that they know and trust in the marketplace that have had an experience with a third party. And then often, the CIO is looking for, a team that they are compatible with, where they can create a project culture where the team has clearly got credentials and expertise that can be complementary to the, the skills and the knowledge and challenge that the company has internally. And, often what I find is our clients and businesses in general are looking for a trusted partner. They're looking for someone that is in the effort for more than just the fee. They're really interested in creating the best possible outcome for the client.
So, speed of the transition, it seems to me, and this is something that we've talked to our technology community, there's some groups that are going to move faster along the continuum to make change than others, even though they all see it out there. And with cloud computing, there's lots of advantages to that. I think most people would see that and say, yes, they do understand that there are advantages. Yeah, it seems like small companies are overtaking the larger companies in respect to making those changes. Is that true, and why is that the case?
I do believe that is true. I'll use my company as an example. We're a 60-person firm, and we fully moved all of our IT infrastructure to the cloud. For us, that gives us the assurance of using a much larger and capable infrastructure that runs on a 7x24 basis, effectively resources and services that we couldn't afford to build as a small company. And so I also think small companies in general are just more flexible, a little less risk-averse, whereas large companies, namely most of the clients that we deal with,
right,
are they're risk-averse, and they're slower to change. They have in some cases, in the healthcare and financial services industries, they've got significant regulatory issues. And as Gartner, you cited earlier, as defined, and I find true in the marketplace as well, is there's a big concern about data security and protection. There was just an article out, in fact, read this morning that someone sent a survey of Amazon Web Services and found that 16% of their clients are incorrectly configuring their accounts and making their files public. So, yeah, I think big companies they'll eventually catch up. There's a lot of development going on in security control, security event management. Just made a tour of several technology firms in California last week, and there's some really interesting, innovative tools that I think are going to help large companies feel more comfortable with that move to the cloud, and we believe that adoption rate will increase.
Is with the cybersecurity and the predominance of hacking, I think nowadays, it seems like the large companies are slower to move. Is the number one reason is they're fearful of giving some of that data to someone else, or is that not really the reason?
Oh, I think that's true. I talk to a lot of CIOs, chief security officers, infrastructure leaders, and they're fearful of where their data is going to be stored, how their data is going to be managed, the human factors around the third party, meaning how well vetted are the third party's employees and the third party's security apparatus, and so that just continues to create a huge challenge. And I think the employees, that's just something that I think is going to be a significant concern here for the next 3 to 4 years until those tools and services are adopted, and we get a better understanding of how you can move personally confidential information to the web, how you can move financial information and other company valuable secrets that can truly be safeguarded.
But you're working with a lot of these big companies now, and the systems are getting better, more secure, more efficient. So I'm sure that you'd be advising that it's time they can do that now. Maybe they don't want to move everything at first to the cloud, but they can move some of the elements to the cloud. Is that pretty much where you guys are focused now?
Yes. What we try to help our client look at is we go through a process, and this is something that I'm sure others are doing as well, is to figure out which applications are cloud ready, and we like to look at applications along a dimension of business criticality and customization. So the more customized and the more business critical an application, the less likely the enterprise is going to move it to the cloud. And therefore, we look at those other two dimensions and help our clients identify Salesforce automation, client or customer resource management, other type of tier 3 and 4 data storage services, messaging. There certainly are a whole host of services that are very viable in the cloud today, that it's just important that the CIO and the IT infrastructure executive understand what their needs are and how they match their needs and their security requirements up with services available. And often they can achieve higher levels of performance, ability to scale up, scale down, lower cost, and they can focus their internal resources on the more business-critical applications.
We talked quite a bit about the cloud, not as much about mobility, so let's just touch on that for a moment. We did a decision-maker survey, surveyed 150 C-level leaders, and that came out to be the number one issue, mobility this year, and how to address it, how to deal with it, what kind of potential there is with mobility. So that's a question for you. What impact is mobility having on enterprise in terms of management of data and devices?
It's having a huge impact. That is an area that I think CIOs are very excited about, but also think they are very concerned with because of the rate of change, the devices, device plans, applications, and they're also concerned because the mobile platforms of today are very powerful. It allows the end user to effectively go around the IT organization and subscribe to all kinds of applications and all kinds of services that perhaps could make a security vulnerability. But still by and large, I think CIOs are excited about mobility and what that means. It means that there are a whole new variety of tools that can be brought to the workforce. Access to information is very high, and that they're enabling their knowledge workforce to be more effective. I think that certainly from what we see in the marketplace and the customers that we talk to, that's what's driving the investment in mobility, and that is an area that we see growing almost 20% a year, even still today, with the smartphone market in the professional ranks, certainly in North America, almost saturated. The investment is now going into tablets, specialized devices, machine-to-machine capabilities. Those are all areas that have a tremendous amount of innovative upside.
So finally, I have time for one more question, and it ties into the mobility space a bit, and that's BYOD, or bring your own device. That's obviously a movement. I don't know how fast you could tell us, I think, more how rapidly this is coming into the marketplace. But if a company's thinking about deploying a BYOD strategy, what advice would you have for them?
Well, it is something that we're seeing more of amongst our clients. I was a little skeptical at first several years ago because most of the clients that we deal with have a need for controlling the device, controlling the policy, controlling the number, and feel pretty strongly about that. And so what we've really seen is while there is some BYOD, I'd say there are some companies that are financially struggling that they've approached BYOD to reduce costs, shift it over to the employee. By and large, the majority of mid-market and Fortune 500 clients that we see have adopted bring your own device for the second or third device to give the employee flexibility in choosing some additional tools if the employee wants to bear the cost of some or all of the tool. And so what we try to advise our clients is try to be flexible, try to think about the role that the employees have, provide them with appropriate safeguards. There's some very functional mobile device management tools today that will allow you to enforce policies, to geographically fence. That'll help you and the employee better manage cost, especially if the employee is roaming as a significant traveler. And so we just urge them to be flexible, think about the role, look at the tools that are available in the marketplace from a number of companies, some here in Atlanta, and look to be more enabling with the employee. Try to help them with the tools they need to be more effective.
Well, Scott, thank you for joining me on Tech Talk today and your support of TAG as a premier member.
It's our pleasure.